I was looking forward to this podcast.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming. It's really interesting to have you here. So we talked about this yesterday, and you came in today. That's really amazing. We can talk about whatever you like. So I know you are applying for jobs, right? So what kind of job you are looking for at the moment?
Uh, Basically, I have a finance background.
Mm-hmm.
I have worked in a bank, but with this qualification that I've recently got, I am looking forward to get into fintechs. So, which is like I want to be someone who knows finance, but at the same time get wants to get into the IT sector as well.
Oh,
So basically, I'm aiming for fintechs where I can use my finance background and also use my IT skills that I've recently gained.
fintechs is that?
Yeah, it's an industry now.
Oh, yeah.
With the digitalization,
Hmm.
so the way financial sector is moving, so fintechs is a new market segment. It's a new upcoming segments
Yeah.
where like banks or financial institutions, they are big organizations and they have a lot of operational activities going on or innovations going on, but they don't have a time to innovate in a way where IT companies can innovate.
Yeah.
So the new trend is where these financial technology companies, they focus on one segment of banking operation and then come up with the innovative ideas.
Yeah.
So, for instance, mobile applications. So, bank might not want to use their own resources just because it takes time.
Yeah.
And but what they could do is they can go for any financial technology company and ask for a mobile application which is already been made. They
Right.
have done work on it. So and there are different models like how they sell and
So in your case, finance is something what you know already, but IT is something you are learning, right?
IT is so I have recently finished postgraduate
Yeah.
diploma in business informatics. So I didn't have any IT background before.
Yeah.
So this is my first experience where I got to know what is IT security management, and you have been in my class, so you
Yeah,
know,
you
like
have
it's a
been
digital
in.
transformation,
Yeah.
all those things. So this was a formal way of learning, even though I had exposure during my previous employment, where I was dealing with some fintechs, but I did not have any proper qualification for it. So this has been a value added.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Like the reason I choose this course is also because I wanted to try something different. It has always been sales, business, marketing. I was so bored, so let's try new things. That was the reason why I choose. So, anyways, so with your job search, how difficult it is to find job in New Zealand, and also with those jobs you are looking at, which is a little bit different and not normal. Normally, everyone can try for those jobs as well. In that case, what is your experience in finding a job in New Zealand?
Um, in terms of financial sector, I think like this is my perspective, and everyone has a different experience. I have seen people getting jobs quite easily,
Okay.
but especially for financial sector, it gets tricky for people like us who are on a temporary work visa or are like who have come from another country because um, there is a data confidentiality concerns that
Right.
bank would show you like so like they would prefer someone who have got residency at
Yeah.
least.
Oh.
So that's the main thing that I've like. This is the biggest challenge I would say I've encountered. Otherwise, the market is quite good, and there are a lot of opportunities which you can
So
get.
do they need any kind of government registration, like occupational registration in finance job?
It depends on like so for banks, no, you don't need. But if you are an accountant, then I think it's. I'm not really sure. I would have to look up to it on like, but I think it's accountants or chartered accountants. They have to register themselves, not
Yeah.
the bankers.
Okay. Okay. So like I know you came from UK. So what incentives do you see to the students, international students in New Zealand? Is it really worth coming to New Zealand and just working and living? in terms of settlement, of course, you can argue that you will get qualification and you can go back. But those person who want to come and live in New Zealand, so do you think it's a good destination?
Yeah, New Zealand is an amazing country. I've enjoyed my stay here so far. For international students, I think there is a huge potential for them to come here to New Zealand if they are looking to settle.
Right.
Still, it's easier as compared to, you would say, UK, because they don't get. Recently, they have been getting a little flexible because of the Brexit, but before they were not encouraging international. They were encouraging international students, but they were not giving them enough opportunities to settle over there. So in that comparison and in that perspective, New Zealand is still a good choice.
So compared with UK, it's
Yeah.
still good in your opinion?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Until recently,
Until recently,
because
yeah.
they are giving now post-study work visas to international students, and on contrary to UK,
Yeah.
New Zealand is getting stricter as compared to UK.
Yeah, I know one reason when I was looking for international study. The reason I didn't choose UK was also because of post-study work visa problem that time. But now they have started to give in visas, and I think that's good. But also, like, when coming to changes, New Zealand government, I think none of the undergraduate student will get uh, post study work visa more than 1 year. Even I don't think like they are going to make something different, right? In New Zealand.
I think with the recent announcement, then again, don't quote me, but what I know is so now international students would get like if they are not doing masters, whatever level they are on, masters and above, they would get 3 years of work visa after completion of studies. But for undergrads and level 7 or level 8 mainly, so they would get work visa equivalent to their duration of studies.
Yeah.
So if they study for 1 year program, they would get 1 year post study work visa.
Which is in one way similar to what was 3 years before, I guess.
Could be, because I'm not really sure.
Little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
Because I know when I came first in New Zealand, I knew I was only getting 1 year visa, but I
Yeah.
was lucky I got extended 2 more years.
Yeah.
But after then, there has been a lot of changes, and one thing I really look regularly is New Zealand government policy in terms of immigration. They keep changing rules every second month. There will be new rules, and
I think pandemic has played an important role where, like, governments, not just in New Zealand, I would say it's happening all over the world, where countries, well, there are different factors. And main factor, in my opinion, is economic factor.
yeah,
So, like, global economy has slowed down or is slowing down. So, which means there are less opportunities for business growth. There are opportunities, and eventually, once the pandemic settles down and our life gets back to normal, there would be more opportunities. But based on what different countries have been experiencing after pandemic, or still we are going into
yeah,
post pandemic situation, they are looking into providing opportunities to their own citizens first,
yeah,
as compared to, because, like, if someone wants to study abroad, like, obviously it depends on the objective, like whether you want to go out, study and settle, or you just go and come back. So if someone who is looking for settling down in another country, I think these are challenging times.
right. So even with any countries, you mean?
Yeah.
Right, I'll just ask you a question. Out of UK, Australia, and New Zealand, which one would you recommend for a person who want to take graduate education internationally? Which one would you suggest? Australia, New Zealand, or UK? At the moment, like,
Well, this is very tricky. I have studied in UK,
yeah,
and I've also studied here in New Zealand. So I can compare these two countries.
yeah,
but Australia, I'm not too sure. But if
Okay.
someone is looking for settling down, I think Australia would be the best place to go at this time because I think they get more opportunities and pathways to immigration.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not really aware.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay. So
but
how is the UK like? What is the differences in education system in UK and New Zealand?
you have raised a very good point because I was about to get on to. I think like when we talk about education, we are basically you are saying the quality of education that
Yeah,
you're going to get.
exactly.
Uh, and like these countries, Australia, New Zealand, or UK, they are developed countries, so their education level is definitely way above than what we have.
By the way, I
Yeah.
forgot to tell Sheraz is from Pakistan and I'm from Nepal, and it's really really good to have we both together in the same table talking about these things around. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell.
That's
Okay, so you can add Pakistan as well. Yeah, please go forward.
yeah, yeah. So I have, uh, I would say I have studied in Pakistan, which
Yeah.
is a different which has a different education system. It's still developing. It has good foundations, but it needs work. And then when you talk about UK, it has a well-established education system. New Zealand as well. I feel this is just my personal perception. The roots of education system here also comes from UK because
UK.
this has been part of UK long before. So and same goes for Pakistan as well. So our education system is also based on British.
Yeah.
When they left a system. Uh, but over the years, how things have changed in developing country and in a developed country, I think it's the way or the environment that they provide to their students, the confidence that students get.
Yeah.
um, Here people here and same the same goes for UK as well with uh, students are encouraged to think out of the box, and they are encouraged to think whatever they are going, and then it helps them understand things in a different way. While when I studied, and I'm sure things are improving and changing in Pakistan as well, where we were spoon fed, where
Exactly.
and you were expected to basically
Teacher come
yeah,
and check your.
reproduce everything as it is, as how
Yeah.
teacher is asking you to do. So that was the main difference. When I first went to UK, I was going from a system where we were expected to produce something the way teacher wanted, and then that was a 360-degree
Exactly.
change where all of a sudden professors would ask, oh, this is your topic, you are going to do it. And then I was like, oh, how we are going to do it if we are not given any direction? So
Exactly.
that's the thing. And I think it lays the foundation for someone for the practical life as well once you finish your studies, because if you are given this freedom to decide and choose and go with your own thinking process, and then like obviously there are guidelines, but then
What is the system of exams in Pakistan? Is that assignment based as well, or is just exams?
it it depends on like there are different, like there are parallel systems. So if you are studying in a university, or there are there are few courses where you have to give exams, and then
No.
like for me when I did my bachelor's, it was both. So there were assignments and there were exams as well.
Yeah, because for me it's first time when I came to New Zealand. I came across with the assignments, and I was, to be honest, very happy because just writing some essays and just doing those things, and you will get marks. You don't have to memorize the whole night and go and attend the exams another day and just test your memory. So that's what I hate
Yeah.
about the education system in my country. Like,
This reminds me of I'm not sure if it was Albert Einstein or someone. Like there is a quote that I read once where it said, "So learning education is not about learning facts.
Yeah.
It's about l- learning how to think. And what we do back home
Yeah.
is about learning the facts and
Yeah.
then reproduce it.
Right.
And that's the main difference, where like that is exactly what you have mentioned. Here they are trying to make you learn how to think and come up with new ideas. So that's the main difference. Still there is a difference, and I'm sure, like, I have not studied in Pakistan for a long time, so I'm sure things have been changing and improving. But that's the core thing. What he said, or what whoever said it,
Yeah.
he was right on spot. Where it's not about learning the facts; it's about how you think, and then learn from the experience, or learn from what you have learned from your education, and then come up with something new. And
Exactly, and that's simple. Like, there is some tasks to do. You just think, you make some effort and make it happen, and the teacher is just guiding you there. He's just giving you some like ideas how you can do your own research, how you can he's just showing the path. But back home, what we were um, asked to do was asked to bring homeworks, asked to do classworks, and they were checking every single thing, and that has to be on mark. And there is no right or left, up and down. It should be straight. And I really think we were just testing our memories and stuff. So like in school days, I was very good in like study. I would get very good marks, and I don't remember. I just got once or two time I got second position. Otherwise, I was first in the class. But after I started you know, mm, we call it ISC. We used to have ISC. It's a undergraduate level. After I started, I lose interest in my study because I didn't enjoy that anymore. But when I came here, I feel like, okay, so this is what I want to do. There is something which I have to solve by myself, and the teacher is just guiding, and they are giving marks based on what effort I made, and I really enjoyed this. So, like talking about those assignments, so what is in UK? Is that exactly same as New Zealand, or is that different?
based on my experience, yes, it's very similar.
Yeah,
And it depends on what level you are. So if you're just like level 9, you're doing masters, or level 8,
yeah.
it's exactly the same. That's what I have experienced over there as well.
Is
Um,
there level system in UK as well?
yes, but level 9 here is level 7 in UK,
Oh,
but it's just a different scale.
right.
So like MBA over there is level 7, if I'm not wrong, and MBA here is level 9. So masters is level 9. Um, that's when we say, like, I think there is no comparison in terms of um, what you say. So like the levels are almost the same, but and sorry, I said, like, there is, like, if we compare the both systems, they are similar. They are very similar in terms of assignments, or like how those courses are structured. Uh,
How is the uh, volume of people going from our area, like South Asia, uh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh? How is the rate of international students? So when you were there, of course, now people, a lot of people go there from last one
like
year. But before then, what was the volume like?
I think it's the same. I would say, like, UK has been always uh, first choice
Yeah.
for, at least for Pakistanis, and I've seen a lot of Pakistanis, Indians, and Nepalese and Bangladeshis people over there, South Asians basically.
Tell me,
Uh,
I'm the first person you met, Nepalese person.
Here in New
In-
Zealand, yes, yeah, yeah. Uh, I think it just because, like, we have been, like, the subcontinent has been, like, for a long 200 years we were ruled by the British, so there is a strong roots. So whenever not whenever, but it's always, and they have a very good universities as a matter of fact. So if someone who wants to get good quality education, they always think of going to UK first.
Right.
American universities are also up there, and then Australians, New Zealand. Like uh, we, I think it was one of our back in 2000, early 2000s. So government of Pakistan had this arrangement with New Zealand government, and like the Pakistanis that I see here, mostly are PhD students, or they have done PhDs. So
Okay.
they came on scholarships.
Yeah,
So
I want to know this actually. So, how to get PhD in New Zealand? Uh, what do you need? What are the criteria? What they look for to is it easy to get paid PhD? It's or it's had to
there are
be
different scholarship programs.
yeah.
So basically what you have to do is to go on a university website, let's say AUT or University of Auckland, and then you have to go to a school where you want to study. So let's say if you want to do a PhD in finance, you need to. There are two ways basically, as far as I know.
Yeah.
One is if university is already doing research on a certain topic, and then they want students to do research on this topic. So in that case, you don't have to have a topic and a proposal. So you just have to do the credentials. I'm not sure about that process because I have not. But the mostly how people or students get admission in PhD is you have to have a topic.
Yeah.
You submit your proposal. You basically discuss it with the. So you identify a supervisor.
Yeah.
In AUT, what they ask is you just submit your proposal to the research school, and
Right.
then they forward it to the relevant department or school, and then someone from
So
there.
there will be funding after that.
Funding is so as I said, so there are scholarships. So
Yeah.
you will find information on universities' websites as well, and then there are programs. Please excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are programs where, like, some World Bank also do it. So you have to know Erasmus is for Europeans. Then Fulbright is one.
Mm.
Fulbright is a very good program for where you could get scholarship for PhDs in USA.
Right.
A friend of mine went there. So you need to keep an eye. There are different programs where you get developing, especially students from developing countries. They get scholarships. So I have
So
not explored that part.
okay, I thought you wanted to do PhD as well. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but so sometimes so what I did, I submitted my proposal. It was an interesting story. So yeah, but I was willing to pay for it.
Oh.
But usually, what happens is, if your project is good, your supervisor can also get you funding.
Yeah.
But it's totally up to the arrangement. So it's not like a sure thing.
Right.
But in New Zealand, PhD cost of doing PhD is not very expensive. So you
Yeah.
pay
$6,000.
$6,000 or $7,000 a year, which is I think manageable. But mostly people so the students that come from Pakistan, we like these students used to get scholarship from government of Pakistan. We have education, so we higher education commission HEC.
Yeah.
So every year there would be enough scholarships. So you apply.
Certain quota.
Yeah. So what you do is like you apply for an exam
Yeah.
over there, and then if you get succeeded, then you have to there is they pay for the
Oh.
they pay for your qualification for
Right.
PhD, and then after completion of PhD you have to go back and serve the country as well.
So when they pass the exam in Pakistan, they don't need to uh, submit proposal here in New Zealand.
No, that's the selection criteria for only for getting scholarship.
Yeah.
So you have to go through the university, whatever university you're planning to go.
Yeah.
You have to fulfill their admission criteria as well. And there are universities that if you explore the HEC website, they mention um, panel universities, like those who are on the panel. But I think it's open for any university as long as you
Right.
fulfill the criteria. So yeah, I might do it. I have planned to do it, but
Yeah, I think it's good. Like if if you are interested to academic world and you love doing it, do it. But maybe I wouldn't do PhD. Maybe not.
it's a hard work. It's a full time
Yes,
job.
exactly.
You cannot.
I have a friend as well, and he just finished PhD 6 months before, I guess. And he used to tell me that it's so hard. Like you have to just think about it every time, whatever you are doing. It's like a job, full time job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and another thing is like personally, I would like to do job in corporate environment or see what I can do in terms of my career. But I'm not a person who enjoys studying. Maybe like that long, to be honest. I had a dream in the childhood. I wanted to do PhD. I wanted to do like doctor in front of my name, but now like it's I don't get so much interested on this. I did masters because I really wanted to do it, like
I'm
sooner or
curious,
later.
Puru. So what you are expecting from this course, the one you're doing masters in
Yeah.
business informatics. So what's the goal behind it?
So like of course we have talked about it a little bit before as well. So like I mentioned before, I was so bored doing sales, marketing, business, blah blah blah, because uh, I'm working in retail at the moment, and I don't see myself managing retail shop for forever, like for next 5 years, 10 years. So here in New Zealand, so experience counts, qualification counts, and I needed a way to get out of my like experience because I have already been long in retail. So I have to get out of that way and find a bridge to enter in something
So
else.
how do you see, like, how this course is going to help you getting out of retail industry? I'm just curious. It's just
Yes.
because it's very interesting what we have studied, like what I have studied and what you are studying. Um, we are getting enough know-how, the fundamentals of IT,
I think
but
so.
you cannot compete with someone who is a software developer, or this is a challenge for us.
Yes.
Like, we know how IT industry works, we understand, we know the fundamentals, but we are not specialized software developers or network administrator or
So
even
in
the business analysts. Like, so there are business analysts who are technical business analysts,
yeah.
so it gets challenging. I wouldn't say it's not possible, but like, what's your goal? Like, how you are planning to
So
switch?
I haven't exactly planned I will go this way because I'm honestly enjoying this time. So doing a lot of experiment, even podcast is one example. But maybe when I finish my study, I will be already have a decided career path, and my plan is to just do internship or just spend another 6 months doing hard work and learning the basic skill to enter the market.
Yeah.
Just for an example, if I want to go in business analysis, analytics, like you said, I would spend 6 months time learning those things, and so after then I will enter the job. It will take some time, but I think uh, because of this basic knowledge we got in MBI, I think this is enough breeze for us to just
Yeah,
go
it
to
lays
the
a
other
good
side. Yeah,
foundation. Like, so if you understand all the courses and how, so it gives you a good foundation to start with,
exactly.
and then you have to build on it.
Yeah, for example, if some of my friends who came from IT background, they are doing Master of Business Informatics. The opportunity for them will be to be managers in their workplace, but for us, it's not, because we don't have that fundamentals knowledge. We may be manager in our workplace based on our master degree. We will probably be promoted, but it depends on whether we would like to do it or not. Just take an example of retail. I'm working in retail. Uh, if I go to high level management position, I should need the knowledge of cyber security. I should need the knowledge of uh, cloud computing, data, uh, whatever, information security, whatever we studied in MBI. So that can definitely help if I want to get like promoted in my own industry as well. However, I'm talking about moving to the different industry and trying new things.
No, it's very interesting because like we share similar goals when it comes to switching industry. I'm not really switching industry, but I think like what I have added from this qualification is a value added skill where I can transform myself, not just in like I can keep working or keep looking for opportunities in banking or financial sector, but I can also be a bridge between
Yeah.
IT and
Yeah, I think so. Like,
yeah.
I agree with you, and I may be wrong, but I have been taking that theory in my mind since I started the course. So I think that should work out. Let's see. And like the sad part is, I have to spend another 6 months, like learning some new thing. Let's take an example of cyber security. If I want to go to cyber security, I have to learn the
Sir
frameworks
Corbett
and
and
yeah,
ITIL.
industry standards.
Yeah,
And I think there are some popular exams as well. If we
yeah.
manage to pass those exams, it's the only way we can enter the job market to start with. So that takes at least, if we have to do like three different course and give the exams, it will take at least six
I
months.
think finding like getting an opportunity for internship can also help you a lot. And it's the same for me as well. I would look for it. Uh, just because we are switching industries,
Yeah.
to start at a junior level is not a bad thing.
No, definitely not.
You can always start from the scratch, and if you are good enough and you are motivated and committed to your work, you can always grow. So I think I wouldn't mind going back and restarting again, just to have a new
Yeah,
experience.
same here. In fact, I have started a lot of time in my life. Like I was studying science in my undergraduate. I switched to like business in my bachelor, and after then I'm studying business informatics in my master's. So I have always started from the beginning. So I don't mind either. But the sad part is the time, which never comes back, and we have to spend some. That's the main thing.
I think, yeah, it's important, but as long as you're trying and you're doing your best.
And you know what? Like, as long as I'm happy, I don't care.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's all it matters. If you're happy with whatever
Yeah.
you're doing.
Because when we look back, I'm sure you would have left a lot of opportunities, what way you were doing in the past, and you just gave up and came for a new challenge and stuff. It's same with me. Like I was getting a lot of opportunities with my work back in Nepal and stuff, but there is a time when you want to do something else, and they so in our like language there is a saying like, if you have to get something, you have to quit something. You cannot get both things. So that's it's simple. Like at the moment I'm studying, I cannot work and get like on more money, cannot focus on career job and spend long time because I'm getting education, so I cannot get both. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. Have you read Alchemist by Paulo Coelho? It's a very good and interesting read. So I like every time I read it, I learn something new. And there is one quote from there where it says, "When you really want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve that thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the motivation and the drive that you said. So as long as you are trying and you are doing what you want to do, that's all it matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And like I'm not fan of reading books, but I listen random stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe that's the reason I'm doing podcasts as well, because I love listening and
yeah.
I'm trying to talk as well. Anyway, but of course, I don't know why I don't like reading books. I don't hate it, but I cannot focus for more than 10 minutes when I'm reading.
I know what you feel.
But when I'm listening, I can listen whole day. Like sometime when I am home and doing nothing, I just listen whole day, and I can do that very easily. So it's different people and different style.
Yeah. We all are different, and we l- see things differently, learn things differently.
So Shiraz, we talked about different things. So I want to know, like, what brought you in New Zealand? I know you came in different visa, which is kind of appreciating the talent of a person and allowing them inside the country. I think that was silver phone visa,
Yes.
right? So what made you to come to New Zealand when you what was your perception about New Zealand? So is it a good country? Did you like the weather, or did you like what did you wanted to know before you coming in?
Coming to New Zealand is a very interesting story. I was working back home in Pakistan for a
Yeah.
bank, and never thought of it. To be very honest, it was my goal to go and come and see New Zealand as a tourist, but coming here to work or study or to live was never in plan.
Hmm.
So one day, what happened was one of my friend, very close friend, he said, "Oh, there is this program, Silver Fund program, where 300 young talented professionals comes from all over the world, and so why not, let's try it." And I was like, "Okay, let's apply for it." So he convinced me, and when he informed me about this visa and like this program, so that was about 2 or 3 days before this application date. And so I applied just like him, and I was not sure because I didn't prepare for it. uh, I got the visa, my friend didn't.
Hmm.
And I never thought I was coming here, but when I got the visa, I thought, I think it's a good opportunity to not just to come and explore the country, which is a very good country, one of the best countries to live in the world. But for me, I have always wanting a different experience and to explore myself and explore different cultures. I have traveled in few countries and I have done the same. So for me, it was very interesting opportunity. I thought so this would add, not just I would grow as a person, but it would also help me as a professional. Where if I get to work in a banking sector in New Zealand, for example, then that would be a value added thing on
Yeah.
my career profile as well, because I would have a global experience.
Right.
So that was my motivation, because it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I thought, why not? So that's the little story. I came in with this.
Why did not you stay in UK instead?
When I went to UK, my goal was very clear. I was there for studies, and I
Yeah.
never thought of staying.
Right.
Even though I had the opportunity to
Yeah.
stay there, I didn't. I completed my MBA from there, and then went back home. I wouldn't lie if I say once I went back, I thought I did think of it, like I should have stayed there. It's not because I was not happy with the situation. I had a very good job. I think there is a thing called reverse cultural shock.
Mm-hmm.
So we as a human,
Yeah.
we get used to good things and like idealized things. So m- Pakistan is a great country. We are developing and we are working really hard. Pakistan as a trying to progress as a nation, as well as clearing our name from the uh, uh, past that we. So Pakistan, like the youth of Pakistan, they want to change the perception about
Yeah.
Pakistan. So tourism is on the rise, education level is on the rise. uh, People are looking forward to a brighter future, but so I had this thing, like I wanted to do something more and I thought I could add more value. So but my idea was to come here, get some experience, and then maybe in future go back home.
Yeah, that's good. Like
Yeah.
so, in that case, you still want to stay few more years here.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at this moment, I'm just taking things as they are coming because I have time here.
Yeah.
I have opportunities. I am looking forward to it.
I just want to refer back to what you said about Pakistan. What is the main source of income in terms of economy in Pakistan?
So main Pakistan is an agricultural country, so our main exports are related to agriculture
Yeah.
and cotton. Then we have a manufacturing sector as well.
Yeah.
Uh, Pakistan exports a lot of what you call these textile.
Yeah.
Textile industry is on the rise. We export fruits.
Yeah.
Mango is world famous.
Mm.
Rice is world famous.
Right.
Then new upcoming industries are IT sector is growing in Pakistan,
Yeah.
but it's a growing industry. We also export sports goods. We have one city which is which specializes in sports manufacturing.
Sport
So
manufacturing.
footballs, cricket, all those things.
Yeah. Serious. I always want to hear from others' point of view. What do you think are the good things about New Zealand, and what are the things are bad? Like we can say bad. It's an open country.
Uh, this is a very interesting question. Uh, I have so I have experienced few countries. I have traveled to few countries, and I found New Zealand amongst one of the best. People are great. They're very friendly,
Yeah.
and I like the nature is very good.
Yeah.
I have traveled. I haven't traveled whole New Zealand, but I've seen few places. So I love wherever I went. I enjoyed it. Then education,
Yeah.
because I've got education.
Yeah.
The only thing that I feel there are there are a lot of opportunities to start. Like it's one of the most friendly countries to do business, but at the same time, uh, I have experienced working in a big organization. So when I say big, people with 10, 20, 30,000 people, but here there are small organizations. So the
Yeah.
way of doing things is different. It's mostly flat hierarchy structure, which
Yeah.
is interesting because mostly people do their own work and do your own thing. Is
Yeah.
very common here, which was very interesting for me. Uh, I wouldn't say anything. I found it bad. Anything I've yeah. I didn't have any specific bad experience or something.
What about immigration policy? Do you think they should have long-term policy instead of ever changing like policy?
Yeah, well, it would be nice to have something stable and consistent
Yeah.
because when I moved into New Zealand, within first week,
Yeah.
I heard the program that I came in, they
They
permanently closed
down.
it,
Yeah.
and then since then things have been changing quite dramatically
Fast.
or
Yeah.
fast, I would
Yeah.
say. So any like certainty, any certainty, like what's going to happen is good, but like each day, if we consider from a international student point of view, like if someone came with a mindset of settling down, things may have changed during the course. Pandemic could be one of the key factors where
Right.
things have been changing.
Yeah, I mean, at least in this episode, I don't want to sound like immigration. I just like to pull these things up, because that is something concerning to all of us. So anyway, going back to the positive you talked about, people, of course, that is the thing I really like about New Zealand as well. Everyone is flat, and just the person who, the if you are my tutor, you are just the second person to me. You are not my tutor, you are not something different. You are just the second person, I am a first person. That means everyone is respecting everyone. That's what I like
Yeah,
about this as well.
yeah. People overall, as I said, I have not had any bad experience so far. So whoever I met and people have been really friendly and open, and
Go
it
ahead.
was it like you know uh, when I went to UK, probably I was more of introvert person now as compared to who I am today. But I felt there was a barrier. If you wanted to speak to someone, there was kind of like hidden barrier. I
Okay,
don't feel that here.
going back to good things about New Zealand, you mentioned you have traveled few places, and you in like them. In my case, I have tried to visit at least every region of New Zealand except to one or two. I think I haven't been to the southern part in Cargill, and I haven't been to one part of west. Other than that, I have tried to reach every region, and I also have some travel vlogs
Yeah.
in my YouTube channel. I really enjoy it. So, what is the best place for you in New Zealand? Where did you enjoy the most, based on what you have
Sorry.
visited?
Um, I have yet to explore whole New Zealand. So I
Right.
haven't been to South Island, and I've heard great stories about Queenstown or like Milford Sounds.
You
And
should go to
yeah,
Queenstown.
yeah. So it's still on my list. I would definitely travel soon. So far I've been to Wellington, Palmerston North, Rotorua, Taupo, and even last week, which was a long weekend, I traveled to Cape Reinga, which is good. Um,
How was the weather?
Weather was really nice.
That is so good. Like, just stand up there in the lighthouse and just watch
Yeah.
the sea.
You know,
Yeah.
like the best thing about that point is it's not just the top of New Zealand, but when Pacific Ocean and the
And
Tasman Sea they
Tasman
meet.
Sea.
So
Yeah.
it is like it's so cool. Like
Yeah.
when you
Actually,
think,
I have some photos I will put on my video. I mean, this conversation as well. It's so beautiful, Cape Reinga.
yeah,
It's so beautiful. I I really like, one thing I really like about New Zealand is New Zealand don't have snake.
do you have a lot of snakes in Nepal?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I mean, not a lot, but like enough. Like
yeah,
during summer, especially rainy season and summer season, we can see lot of snakes, and everyone do not have proper like house and a place of living, and they just go inside the bedroom and they just make trouble.
sounds scary.
Some people die. That's the sad
Oh,
part,
yeah.
and that's the thing. So
We don't. Well, I'm just thinking of Pakistan. So there are snakes, but not as worst as you are saying in Nepal. Um, yeah, it could be scary. The thought of
so
w-
what I don't like is people dying without any reason. Like, uh, you just got bitten by a snake and you died. You just hit by car and you died. I don't believe that. Like, just before 2 minutes you were speaking, talking, you were doing all your things, and suddenly something happens and you die. Um,
Well, this shows
I think this
we
is
are humans and life is uncertain. You never know what's next. So when they say you have to enjoy your life and you have to make best out of it,
that's
I
why
think
we are
yeah. Because
talking.
you never know what's gonna happen next moment. And
Just before you came in, I was listening to a podcast about how people die because they are bitten by dogs because of rabies, and like there is a vaccine for rabies, and if someone got bitten, um, they could be saved before like their symptoms starts. But if the symptom starts, there is certainly they will die. So the sad part, I think, is what exactly, like just those basic things. They have a proven medicine, vaccine. So why don't those people get vaccine in time? And so like I just feel sad. I'm just like not saying we need solution or something. Just saying in general, like when talking about snakes in Australia, Nepal, and there's no snakes in New Zealand. We can literally sleep in the bush and wherever we like. So
sand flies won't let you sleep. Yeah, I think like well, to live or to die is part of this natural process. We as a human being and
yeah,
or any living species. Um, so that is interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting because we don't. It's the beauty of life and it's a sad truth as well. So we live, we cherish, and then we actually don't know what's
what
going to
is
happen.
your overall philosophy of life in general? Like I said, I believe in karma, and if I do something and put some effort, the universe will help me to achieve that. And if I am doing something good comes back. In the same way, what is your philosophy of life, like in terms of living a life? What do you think?
I am a Muslim,
Yeah,
so I definitely follow a religion, and I think the beauty of it is when it says like the perception of a religion is different, but the teaching is very good when it says you don't do harm to humanity. You live by good principles. You do good to people. You should not harm any person. So I think my philosophy basically reflects the same values, good values, where I don't intend to harm or deceive or cheat anyone, and I believe in good things. I am a positivist, so I think
yeah,
if you
I
think
can see
positive,
that. Yeah,
you like no matter what, if you do good, you have good intentions, you would always have good things. And I can tell you, I had a friend, so he would say he's in a situation, there is nothing going to happen, but he would tell me, oh, I have a feeling I'm going to get into fight with this person, and next thing you would see him fighting with that person. It's just because you have already thought of it that you this is going to happen, and that happens.
so that means your thought drives you
Yeah.
wherever
so
you
so
want.
if you are
So
positive, you just not only bring positive energy in your life, but everything around you also gets positive. So
so
my philosophy is about
positivity.
yes.
Nice, I like that. And I can see you, like even we had lot of stands in class, and there has been a lot of situation around, and you have always been positive. Even I remember once you um like I was sharing my situation, and you were like acting as a positivist, and that really worked. I really remember that situation. That's really good, Siraj. It's good to know and talk to you, man.
it's,
It's we
it's
should do it again and again.
Definitely, if you invite me, I would definitely go. And
Yeah. Do you think you we are missing something important? Like we have to talk about something.
I'm just curious to know. So, like, for Nepal and students, like, do you guys prefer to study in Nepal, or everyone is looking to go out of the country and look for new opportunities?
Um, like it is different in different person case. Of course, people are attracted going overseas and getting higher education these days because of different reason, political reason, economic reason, and lack of jobs and stuff. People just get out of the country, and they just want to go somewhere else and just try to settle in.
So,
That's the sad part.
so do you always wanted to leave Nepal?
No,
No.
in my case, it's different because I was having a good job, and I like until like 1 year before I came in, I used to say I will never leave a country. I will stay in the country. But once I decided, I applied,
So
and
what
this
changed your mind?
it's not uh, anything like it's not about job. It's not about I want to have a fancy degree or stuff. I just wanted to explore like world, like developed countries, how it would be, and how people live there, and like it's good. Like I would have never been talking this stuff if I wasn't in New Zealand, if I didn't came out of my
Yeah.
like you know
So how was it for you to come to New Zealand as a student? You came as a student,
yeah, I
right?
came as a
So
student.
like we discussed how I felt how the education system is different as
Yeah,
compared to Pakistan. So what differences did you see?
yeah, the main difference is, as I mentioned, assignments. So it was a
Yeah.
good thing, and of course there is completely 360-degree turn in your words, because we were based on exams and then testing memories. So here we do things independently, and um, I think that was the difference. That was the main difference.
So do you were you excited, like how I'm sure you were excited when you came to New Zealand, but like when you saw this difference, did you struggle, or was it easy for you to adapt?
So for me, like first 1 year, I liked the way how the education system was, and everything, infrastructure, all the facilities, stuff. But soon after I came here, for after 2 months, I was not motivated because I suddenly felt like uh, I was away from my home, and I feel homesick, to be honest. Like um, I just didn't enjoy anything, because I was away from my family and stuff. So
So was it the first time that you
yeah, that
left?
was the first time.
And so
But ask me about this course, like MBI. I really enjoy
yeah, I
this.
can see. Yeah. We were studying together, and I
Maybe
found you
I
very.
must be the first person to do admission in this college as well, because um, our our class started on September, right? So on July I already had admission, and I got my student
That's
visa
nice.
2 months before. So I was excited. I was looking forward to study, and I was so consciously choosing this course. The reason why I have a little bit interest in digital marketing, so I tried those courses around, but unfortunately there is nothing in master level. They are on only in graduate level,
Yeah.
so I had to choose between another education provider and ICL. So ICL, I found like MBI is more realistic, and like I'm happy because it's opening doors to not to digital marketing. It's actually opening doors to other areas of IT as well. So I'm really
Yeah.
exploring, and I think this is good.
Yep. Yeah. Like my idea when I asked you about like how you felt, um, so like for any international student who is coming from Nepal, um what would be the biggest cultural shock? or like, because it's a totally different world
Yeah.
as compared to South Asian countries.
I think to, to be honest, like Nepalese people are so easy. I mean, I'm not saying because I'm Nepali, but they have ability to adapt to the environment very easily. I think they are easygoing person, in my opinion. So maybe they would have some like problems in terms of communication in culturally. Maybe there is a different culture in terms of we have to do lot of respect to elders and just those stuff in Nepal, but here it's an open conversation even with your manager or tutor. So those kind of things might be a little bit different, but for an average Nepalese, I think they are easygoing person, and I think it's fine. It's all about working hard and just do what you want. And I don't have big connection with Nepalese community, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Of course, I have told you off air as well. Like, I want to make a circle and just talk about these things, just random things, what we learn every day,
yeah,
what we see differently, or even that doesn't have to be different, but whatever we feel, whatever we experience in terms of, because we are in a different place from what we came from, and we have seen various different things which most of the some other people may not have seen. I'm saying that I'm not superior or something, but what I'm trying to say is it's always good to talk about things like random things. That's what I like to
yeah,
do.
yeah. No, and it has been a pleasure, and I definitely love the idea. Definitely, if it's just because, like, it's not about discussing, it's about learning from each other as well, like how you think, how you perceive things, how you understand. And as you mentioned, we have a limited circle, because we are in a different country, so it's always good to make a big circle, and then who knows.
uh, in that case, I would say not big circle, but the right circle.
Yeah, you could do, yeah, however you want to.
No, I'm just giving you one
Yeah,
last thing to think when you're going home.
yeah.
Anyway, we can
Yeah,
end here. And like, if someone is listening or watching, thank you them. And I never do this, but I think I should ask for people to subscribe my channel and just share and stuff. I have never done that in last two episodes, but okay.
there is
So
always a starting point, and I
yeah,
think what you have started is a good starting point. You are exploring um, different
yeah,
ideas, um, which would definitely help you. And even if like people wants to have a different perspective, uh, you could be a good source for the information.
yeah.
So,
Thank you,
thank you.
man. Thanks for coming. We will meet again. We will do this again. And
Thank
yeah,
you for
that's
inviting
all.
it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.